Good evening and welcome to the 2020 National Rabbit Exposition, Best in Show Ceremonies. My name is Scott Schmidl and this is my co-host, Tucker. Tucker is a Dutch, you'll see that. And in this case, he is a Pennsylvania Dutch, coming to you live from Pennsylvania. And I'm pleased to be your host for tonight's show. We are so excited to have wonderful sponsors for our Best in Show prizes. For youth, our Group 1 to 4 winners will receive a $500 gift certificate from the ADM Pen Pals Rabbit Feed. And our Best in Show winner will also receive $1,000 from the ADM Pen Pals Rabbit Feed. From Marks, the Best in Show will also receive a custom painting of their Best in Show winning animal by Amanda Olson of the Ugly Rabbit Apparel. In Open, the group winners will receive $500 from Mana Pro, and the Best in Show winner will receive $200 from Pointer Hill Pet Products and Oxygen. They'll also receive a custom painting of their Best in Show winning animal by Amanda Olson of Ugly Rabbit Apparel. Before we begin, this year's event is dedicated to Paul and Chris Fausner for their decades of selfless volunteerism and dedication to the rabbit and cavy industry at the local, state, and national level. Sadly, Chris passed away on February the 6th, just 2 weeks after we presented her with the dedication. We grieve with Paul, and we know that this year is not how any of us expected to be carry on with life and for this rabbit and cavy event. But because of people like Paul and Chris, we find the strength to carry on and be creative despite what has been dealt our way. Now, let's begin with Group 1. Are you ready, Tucker? Tucker's ready. So, Group 1, Youth, which will be the French Lop, the English Lop, the Tan, the Rex, the Rheinlinger, the Mini Rex, the New Zealand, the Dutch, the Flemish Giant, the Lionhead, the French Angora, and the Checkered Giant. Judging the Youth Group 1 from Ohio is the ARBA Judge number 885, Joseph Colucci. Joe?
Hello. I'm very honored to be judging the Youth Group 1 for Best of Breed, Best in Show at the Marks Rabbit and Cavy Expo. Just one thing I'm going to do is I know all the judges have already checked sex. So as I scroll through the rabbits, I'm going to scroll through the part where they flip them over and check the sex because I'll be just looking at their confirmation for an SOP for that breed. So if you see me scroll past that, that's kind of my reasoning that they've already been checked just like at a normal show. So we're just going to go past that part. Thank you, and I'll begin here. I've judge at this year's Rabbit and KV Expo. I would especially like to thank those youth who voted for me to judge one of the best in-show groups. I am glad so many youth got past the negative noise to be a part of this expo. The caliber of videos to show off the best qualities of their animals was extraordinary. And it was also great to see how many youth had someone help them with this endeavor. All of the rabbits exhibited were very good representations of their breed. With that being said, the 2020 Group 1 winner will be New Zealand White.
All right. Congratulations to the New Zealand White owner. Tucker is very excited, although he was rooting for the Dutch. So thank you, Joseph. And next up, we're going to have youth group number 2 with the Trianta, the English Angora, the Dwarf Hoto, the American Fuzzy Lop, the American Chinchilla, the Satin, the Blanc de Hoto, Lilac, Silver, Polish, the Silver Fox, and the Creme d'Argent. Judging group number 2, we are pleased to have evaluating this group from Pennsylvania ARBA, judge number 1009, Matt Bishop. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Scott. All right, so first we have our silver. And I'm going to do the same thing that Joe did and kind of scrub through here. Just skip kind of like the DQ checkpoints. So the silver has pretty good silvering as far as evenness on the ears compared to the body color. It's showing that good snappy coat that they're supposed to have. And that was our silver. Then we're going to move on to the second one, which is our American Fuzzy Lop. Showing us the good head shape, the good width in the lower muzzle, good width between the eyes. Shows a lot of width in the chest and mass. Good full lower hindquarter. Good sidelines on this animal. Evaluating the coat, showing the good density and texture that the Fuzzy Lop is supposed to have. Then here we'll move on to our satin. Side profile, so we can see the top line of the animal. As well as a hindquarter view, evaluating the loin, the width of body. Go back here. Some of the fur structure. See the density of coat, guard hairs, texture. right, then we have our Polish. Evaluating the head, the ears, and the eyes. Polish has a good shape to the head, the good bold eye that they're known for. There we go, zoomed in there. Showing us the loin and the hindquarter on this animal. Over top view. Go. And we're going to move down here to our cream. Showing us the loin placement and the width of loin, lower hindquarter, the coat structure, the color. The depth of the color and the surface color. The evenness of the coat. And the overall top line of this animal. Now we're going to move on to our Blanc de Haut. Now this one, I want to see if they'll show, there we go, the eye band structure. Good evenness all the way around. Good width. Show the top line of the animal, its overall type. Looking at its hindquarter and its loin placement over the top, see how wide it is and how its sidelines taper. Checking the fur. And then one last evaluation of the top line and the type. You see the bold eye band on this animal. This is our silver fox. Showing the top line of the animal and the fur. Showing the density and the texture of the standing coat, the evenness of color and surface color of the animal. Getting the hindquarter shot to show the width. Final pose to show the top line in the hindquarter. Over top view. Then we're going to move on to the American chinchilla. Good profile on this animal. Looks like it has very even color, good surface color on this animal. Again, that profile view, showing the hindquarter. Little bit of cast of yellow there from the light bulbs from like the garage, I guess. Good full loin, pretty good full lower hindquarter. Very good ring. You can see that ring color in the actual hair shaft as they're moving their hand up towards the neck. Very good definition of ring and width of that band. Pretty good presentation. Next, we have our little dwarf Hotot. Evaluating that band structure, the head and the ear, overall type, width of body, sidelines. Fullness of that lower hindquarter, density and texture of that coat. Flip them on over. Good shape to that head. Pretty even all the way around in the eye bands. And then our hindquarter view. Next, we have our Trianto. Evaluating that top line. Here we'll see the fur structure, density, texture, that undercolor, the depth of color. Let's go back to that belly color. Pretty good saturation of color under the belly. Final view of the top line of the animal and overall type, showing the surface color, evenness of color. Next, we have our English Angora. Showing that width of body and how it tapers. Evaluating the coat, the overall crimp of the animal, the saturation and depth of color, the presence of those guard hairs. Looking at the silky texture that English are supposed to have. Cheeks and bangs. Last overall view. Round ball of fluff. Good furnishings on this animal. Very good bangs. And our last one is our lilac. Evaluating the top line of the animal, the overall shape, evenness of color. Flip it over. We're going to pose it the other direction now. Looking at the overall surface color of the animal. Foot keeps wanting to pop out a little bit. the fur. Looking at the density and texture of the coat. Evaluating the loin area and the width. We'll look at a final pose of our lilac. All right. Well, I just want to thank everyone for voting for me to be part of this best of group. So I grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in 4-H and FFA and being part of the PSARBA youth and the ARBA youth and doing the royalty contests and being PSARBA King and ARBA King and all of that fun that I had back when I was a youth. So it's kind of an honor to kind of have it all come full circle here to be one of the judges for the Youth Best in Show process. Lots of good animals in this group. We have a few that kind of stick out: the fuzzy, our satin, our American chin, nice lilac. But this year, the best of Group 2 youth is going to go to our American chin. So we'll move him over there and certify placings. Congratulations.
Okay. Okay. Well, congratulations to the American Chinchilla owner. And thank you, Matt, for that wonderful job there with Group 2. Tucker and I were both on the edge of our seats for that one. So now it's on to Group 3, youth group number 3, which includes the Jersey Woolly, the Palomino, the Californian, the Himalayan, the Britannia Petite, Florida White, Holland Lop, English Spot, and Mini Satin. To evaluate the animals in Group 3, I am pleased to introduce from Alabama the ARBA judge number 972, Gordon Williams. Gordon, take it away.
Thanks, Scott. Let me get this. Okay. I too am going to scrub through the animals. Well, I'm not able to get this to. My screen is frozen. I am not able to get this to move. Try again. Nope, I'm having trouble, folks. I cannot get this to go.
Gordon, maybe try just refreshing the virtual stock show screen to see if that helps.
The StreamYard?
Not the StreamYard, like go to the virtual stock show page that you shared and see if refreshing it helps.
Okay. Okay, can you see it?
Looks great.
Great. All right. Okay, some beautiful animals, group 3. First off, I want to thank all the youth that have given me the opportunity to judge this for you. I'd like to thank the Marks Group, virtual stock shows, all the sponsors for this year, and everybody who had anything to do with this convention. You guys have made the best of a difficult situation, and I and many judges appreciate the fact that you have done so. My best of group 3 will be the mini satin.
Okay, congratulations to the owner of the mini satin, and thank you, Gordon. And I have to apologize. Tucker here tells me that I blew the introductions, that you are actually from Indiana, not Alabama. So I apologize for that. And Tucker also apologizes for that, but Tucker gave me a stern talking to about that. So Gordon, thank you for your fine judging there of group 3. And now it's on to our 4th and final group, group number 4 youth. And in group number 4, we have the Belgian hare, the Champagne d'Argent, Havana, the American Netherland dwarf, mini lop, Harlequin, standard chinchilla, and please help me welcome from Colorado this time, the ARBA judge number 761, Heather Coyne. Heather, it's all yours. Heather, I think you're muted.
How's that?
Much better.
Thank you. So I'm going to do a little bit of what everybody else did and show you some of each of the videos here, and we'll kind of skip the checking of each one. First, here we have our Harlequin. It's a senior doe. And we'll try to skip forward here. Next, we've got our standard chin. Next up will be our mini lop. Appears to be a senior buck. Next up, we have our Belgian hare. It's a junior buck. Next, we'll have our Champagne d'Argent. I'm going to skip the DQ check. And next up, we're going to have our Netherland dwarf. I'm going to skip through some of the DQs here. And our next one here will be our American. see if we can skip here. And last but not least in this group, we're going to have our Havana. Oops. And that's going to round out our group. I'm going to pull some of the few that I would like to view. Look again here towards the top. I'm going to take a peek here. Let me get some side shots of each of these animals. I'm going to drag this one back to the beginning. Oops. Sorry, technology isn't always like to be our best friend. Try to do it here. All right, I've got a really nice, deep, wide champagne here. Towards the end of the video, I think this animal could round just a little better here at the top of the hip and have a little bit more width to that loin and fill out that hip to loin juncture just a little bit more. I've got a mini lap here for a senior buck. Nice deep round over the top of that hip. I'd like to see a little more width through the shoulder and a lot more width in that head. Has a really nice open ear, good crown placement. We've got a Netherland dwarf here. Excellent color, nice eye circle, something you don't see a lot on most of the otters now. I'd like to see just a little more roundness here at the top of that hip. He's really nice and wide through the front end. Ear placement's nice at 12 o'clock. Really nice bone. We've got a nice young junior buck Belgian hair here. Really nice arch. I'd like to see just a little bit better start to that shoulder. Shows really nice extension of limb, nice tuck to that belly. They did an excellent job working on that animal to pose it up for us to judge the virtual show. I want to thank you all for having me do this today. I wore my ARBA apron here. I know that's kind of silly being at home, but I always like to say I like to cage judge rabbits, and I think this is as close as I'm going to get to that dream. So without further ado, your best of this group today is going to go to your Netherland dwarf. So I'm going to drag him over here and we will certify our placings there. Honorable mention here to the champagne is going to be my second choice, down to the mini lap and the Belgian hair. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well, thank you, Heather, and congratulations to the owner of the Netherland dwarf. Before we move on, Tucker tells me that we had another slight technical difficulty here, and we are going to bring Gordon back because we needed to talk about one more rabbit that was in his group. Gordon?
Hey, Scott. Let's see if we can do this again here. I have to go back in and refresh. When I refreshed last time, I missed a rabbit that didn't come up. So we're going to go back in and look. I missed the Holland Lot. My apologies to the Holland Lot breed and the breeder of this animal. We did look at these animals earlier today, or I got the link earlier today, and I did go through these, just kind of get a feel for what I was looking for. This Holland Lot's got a nice top line. Got a nice shape and substance to that ear. He's got a good head, good shape of the head, good curvature of the skull. We're going to bypass this. Like to see a little more development of the crown. Get those ears to hold down just a little bit better. I think it's slipped off the back of the head just a touch. I like the width through the chest. It's got a nice bone. Kind of tough to tell with the lighting on the finish of the color, the intensity of the color. Doesn't look bad at all. It is a nice animal. My apologies to the breeder for this animal. It's a nice animal. It does not change my Group 3 winner. It is still the mini satin.
All right. Well, thank you, Gordon. And thanks for circling back with us there. All right, Tucker, it's that time. It's time the time that everybody has been waiting for. The moment we've all been waiting for. Time to pick our youth best in show. And joining us today, just as they did in 2013, please welcome our best in show youth judge, judge number 887, Johnny Hausner. Johnny?
Thank you, Scott. Okay, hello everyone, and thank you to the entire Marks team who made this event possible, and all the volunteers behind the scenes who took their time out of their busy schedules and this crazy time we're in right now to give us a way to enjoy our hobby while remaining socially distant and safe. So thank you to the entire team. I think, let's see. I need to share my screen here. Okay. All right, so hopefully you can see my screen. So I'm going to take a little bit closer look at these animals. I was fortunate I got to watch the judges select their group winners.
Johnny, your screen
Yes,
didn't share yet. I'm sorry.
screen did not show. Okay. Is it not sharing? Well, let's see.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe there's a setting not going off here. Let's see. Screen recording. Still not sharing?
Here, you.
Can you see my screen or not?
There you go. I can see your screen. Just talk what you're doing. Talk through what you're doing before you do it.
Okay, sure. So I'm just going to look at these animals one more time. I was fortunate to get to watch the videos as the judges were going through them the first time, and I did get a good look at them. So we have our New Zealand white. I believe won group number 1. You know, while I watch these videos, I do want to say how much I appreciated the care that the youth have taken to make these videos with proper handling, good posing skills, and really taking time to showcase what makes your breed special. It was almost like watching a little masterclass in each of the different breeds as we went through them tonight. So thank you to the youth. And I know it's hard to do this virtually. It's hard to do this virtually, almost impossible without getting our hands on the animals. Yep, so I'm just looking at this mini set here. And it looks like we would have some really nice entries if we were in person in Harrisburg this week. And then we have our American chinchilla. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, last one here is our little Netherland dwarf. There we go. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's see here. So before I announce my best in show video, again, I want to express my thanks to all the volunteers who took their time to make this event happen. I also want to take a very special moment and recognize Ruth Ann Bell for her service. And she is deployed at the moment, and I want to thank her and her whole family for the sacrifice they've made to protect our country. So thank you, Ruth Ann, and to your family. And to Michelle and the entire Marks team. I am grateful for this opportunity. You know, it's something I'm hoping that we never have to repeat again, holding a virtual event like this, trying to judge animals virtually without getting our hands on them. But that doesn't mean that you didn't do an excellent job showcasing your animals, keeping them clean, groomed, and trying to showcase what makes your animal and very special. You know, we're going to return to the showroom soon. I have no doubt with that. And I hope that we've taken a moment to reflect on these difficult times, because we need to realize when we go back that each Saturday morning and Sunday that we share at a rabbit show is special, and we can't take those moments for granted. So when we come back, I want to make sure that we come back with more kindness, more compassion, and are really able to lift each other up for what brings us together. And for the youth out there, my number one message for you is just to avoid the negativity in your life. Realize that you matter and you're special, and try to focus on the positive things in your life. So with that being said, 4 nice animals here. I'm going to make my best in show today, the American Chinchilla. Congratulations.
All right, Johnny. Thank you for that great job with bringing it all together here for Best in Show and the Youth. We'd like to review now who our 4 group winners were. First off, with our Best in Show, the American Chinchilla was Greta Mintorn from Columbia City. And our Group 1 winner, the New Zealand, was Clara Kuykendall. And I really hope I didn't butcher that too bad. Kuykendall from Freeville, New York. Our Group 3 winner was the Mini Satin. Owner was DJ Hoff from Chasego, Minnesota. And our Group 4 winner, the Netherland Dwarf, was Ryan Smith from Arlington, Texas. Again, congratulations to all of our group winners, and especially our Group 2 American Chinchilla, your Youth Best in Show 2020 winner, Greta Mintorn. So now it's time to move on to group number 1 in the open group number 1. And group number 1 open will include the French Slop, the English Slop, the American Sable, the Tan, the Rex, the Rhinelander, the Mini Rex, the New Zealand, Dutch, Flemish Giant, Lionhead, French Angora, and Checkered Giant. Judging this group from the fine state of Wisconsin is ARBA Judge number 914, Michelle.
Hello. So I've been selected to choose Group 1. And so I already looked at these earlier. And
Michelle, can you share your screen, please?
yes, I can.
Thank you.
I was going to do that. Are you seeing it now? Because I don't.
You shared the StreamYard. We need you to share your virtual stock show screen.
Well, come on. See, this is what I'm talking about. Do you see it now?
Yes, you're good. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. See, I should have been practicing that part earlier. I've been joking all week with Michelle that I'm not very good at running the technology part of this, as we can now see. So anyways, I was chosen to pick Group 1. So I'm going to start here with my Dutch, and I'll bring that up. as I was looking at it earlier, the very first rabbit out of the gate, absolutely gorgeous animal. As it's being camera is going around, you can see that it has that very beautiful, rich blue color to it. It's a very well-rounded animal. It's in prime coat condition. When it gets to being flipped over to look at some of the markings, you can see that nice blaze. It has really great stops. They're very even when you get up to the top of them. There we go. And it's just a very nicely balanced animal in general. So my next rabbit that I have in my group is the tan. Looks to be a youngster from what I can tell. When it gets up on those limbs though, it's very, very attractive with that nice arch coming over the top of the hip. I'm going to skim through some of this, some of the actual DQ checking of the rabbit. You can see that nice rich color coming all the way through the chest, all the way through the belly, and it carries fairly well through to that tail. It's got a very nice quality coat coming over the top and very, very nice richness to that color as well. So my next animal, which I'll get started here, is my Mini Rex. And when I saw this Mini Rex first come up, the very first thing that I was excited about was seeing that it's more of one of those unusual kind of colors. I see that it's buffering here. But more of that kind of unusual color, being a broken tort. So as far as I could tell from the video, very nicely rounded animal. Thing has tremendous width coming all the way through the shoulders, coming all the way up over top of the hips. You can see how nicely rounded and filled it is coming over that loin and there during the hindquarters. It's got a nicely balanced head to it. Coat appears to be, has a really nice density to it. It appears to have that nice texture. You can kind of, there's a lot of stuff you can't tell on the video, obviously because we can't touch it, but certainly you can tell a lot on the video when you see a nice primed animal, even when it's a coat that typically we'd have to be able to touch to see how it feels. All right, and then we had the checkered in my group. Looks like it's a big senior doe. She's got great length to that body. She's got tremendous bone on her for being a doe. A little weak into those ear tips, but she carries good upper loin to her and rounds nicely into the hindquarters. She really shows some great width to that track of hers. Nice rich color. Very good evenness to those markings. All right. The next rabbit I have is the Flemish, and this is one of those situations where sometimes the virtual isn't exactly as great as the in-person, obviously in a lot of ways, but the video quality, unfortunately, on this particular animal isn't the greatest. But from what you can see, it shows exemplary semi-arch body type, starting that high point coming out from behind the shoulders, rounds very well over the top of that hip. You can see that it comes down very well down to the lower part of that table. Very nice, wide open set to those ears. A lot of strength to that ear base that allows them to stand erect like that. We can see that it has good bone to it, even though, again, this is one of those things that you typically look for being able to feel. But rounds nicely over the top there. Looks like it might be a little bit out of coat condition and color, but again, that's hard to tell from the video, you know, because of the quality of it. You can see it a little bit better when it's not blown up quite as much over the screen. Nice ring color to it coming down, depth to that undercolor. And then we go from big to little. With my lion head here. Very nice ruby-eyed white. I noticed from looking at this rabbit, the very first thing I said when it showed up that I was able to look at it was how absolutely fabulous the cleanliness of its head is. That mane sticks straight to being around the top, over by those ears, instead of bringing a lot of that wool down over top of the eye and in between the eye. Skipping some of the DQ checks. You can see it has nice width through that loin all the way down to the table. The mane looks like it has a lot of density and life to it, including having that length to support the mane from just falling flat. Really good evenness to that mane as well. All right, then we have the American Sable. So I really appreciate the depth that this animal has coming over the top of that hip. It fills well over the top of that hip juncture. You can see as it's taking the hand over the top of that loin right now, down into that lower hip. Sables, notoriously difficult to get both in coat and color and condition all at the same time. Kind of a breed that you get a week to show. Excuse me. I'm in my work office. Kind of one of those breeds you get like a week to show them before they go out of coat. So this one's got some good finish across the top, but it's got quite a few spots where it's just not finished out in its coat quite yet. And then we have the Rex. Broken Otter. It's a well-finished animal. Could maybe use a little bit more width coming over that hip juncture to make it a little bit smoother transition. Definitely has a lot of density to that coat. You can see, well, the coat is being blown into there. Looks like it has pretty good texture to it. You can almost see the velvety softness of it even in the camera screen. Has that nice turn over the top of the hips. I commend the breeder for making sure that it's got proper posing to it. All right, so then we've got the Bayed French Lop. Has really amazing rounding over the top of that hip down into that lower hindquarters. You can see it from the top view. When you look at it from the side, you can still see that tremendous amount of depth that carries that width very nicely. Looks like she might have a little bit of a dip at that shoulder, but she's got good definition to that crown. Pretty good placement to those ears. All right, then we've got the cousin, the English Lop. It's got good boldness to that head. You can see how it comes out of that shoulder. Really nice width and rounding through that loin. Very beautiful primed coat on this animal. Sometimes the lops, you don't get to see that very often, especially the English lops. You can see that it fills well over that hip juncture. Has good balance to those ears as far as length to the body. Nice openness when they're sat out like that. Pliability is one of those hard things to tell, but the way that the ears are folded. You can see that nice fold to them, which shows that they're not, you know, overly thick. They've got nice pliability to them that they're able to fold like that, but still be left open. All right, French Angora. The Angoras are tough with the virtual show because obviously we can tell a lot about the coat structure itself, but what's under all of that coat gets lost a little bit, but you can still tell a lot based off of how the coat sits and how it shows off the width of that coat. You can still tell that there's a real meaty quality animal underneath that, all that wool, to be able to support the structure that we see on camera. So it's just checking the density. You can see a lot of the protrusion to that guard hair and the diameter of that guard hair that adds to the drape of the coat overall, but yet a strong enough undercoat to it to have it not just part in the center. And while it's being parted right now, it's being done so to show the density by not being able to see all the way down to the skin, showing that it has enough density to support the structure of that coat. You can see the nice crimp that comes through and the protrusion of that guard hair. Very nicely colored, well-kept animal. Then we'll go to the Rhinelander. They have a blue and fawn here. So when it gets up like it was, shows really great extension to that front limb. Gets up well onto those rear legs as well, just like that, showing itself off. Really nice length to that body. They're supposed to have that longer type that supports the rounding over the top of the hips. It's got great distinction to the side markings as far as the roundness of them and cleanliness of them. You don't see a lot of brindling to it. Little unbalanced from side to side. It's got very nice, bright, rich fawn color to it, and the blue as well. Seems to have pretty good distribution to that color. It's not overly heavy on either the blue or the fawn. All right, my last one here is the New Zealand. It's really, you can just see how wide that loin is coming over the top of that hip. You see that prime line coming through, showing that that coat is in the most optimal condition that it can be right now. That nice massive meat type on it, that width that comes all the way through that midsection and over. It's got tremendous depth to it. If I had to pick apart anything, I wish its high point was just a little bit further back to show off more of that commercial type, with the high point being over top of the hips. So those were the 13 rabbits that I was assigned. So what I'm going to do is, if you watch the youth show, I'm going to do kind of a little bit like what Heather did. And I'm going to move the rabbits that I feel are more to the top of my group to the top of my group, so that we can look at those. Kind of like a second look would be if you were at convention and watching this in person. So we'll keep the Dutch up there. We'll move the New Zealand. We'll keep the Mini Rex. Let's see. We'll grab the French Angora. And I will echo that the technology is not always the best way to have this go is now it's like shuffling apps on your computer, on your phone screen, and things get lost and moved around. And then we'll also move the French lop up to take a more second look at it. All right, so now, yeah, there are my 5 animals. So I'm going to take a second look at them. All right, let's take a look here, hopefully at our mini Rex again. While I was watching this video the first time, it made me laugh a little bit because as judges, we're a little, we're in the spotlight while we're trying to handle the rabbits and make them look the best as possible. So it made me laugh a little bit at the beginning of this video with having to deal with the uncooperative French Angora. It made me feel a little bit better when we're struggling on the table to make your guys' rabbits look as beautiful as possible. All right, so I've made my choice, but before I announce my choice, what I want to do is, first off, a huge thank you to the Marks Club. They obviously, this is not how any of us wanted to be spending this particular weekend of our time. Obviously, things are very up in the air right now, like Johnny was saying, as far as Best in Show Youth when he was doing that. As the shows get started going again, and hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, we'll all be able to recognize how special and important the in-person shows are to us, and have that be a little bit of an emphasis as we go back to showing in person, to just recognize what we were missing for all of these months and how valuable the hobby is to us. Again, the Marks Club has done a great job. Obviously, it was a complete 180, having to go from getting ready to put on a full in-person convention in Harrisburg to trying to figure out how to make the experience as beneficial and well received and wonderful for us as exhibitors and judges, while still trying to do it online. Obviously, no small undertaking, especially since it's never been done before. They really didn't have a great template to go off of. And then I also want to thank the open exhibitors. I've judged youth best of group a couple of times. This is my first time getting voted in to do open. So I really, really appreciate and thank you for the votes. And speaking of youth that I've judged before, little plug here. Nick and I have been working to help with the youth contests for the last 2 weeks and even before that. And they're having their banquet coming up on Tuesday. So hopefully you guys, when you see the youth, you can give them some encouragement and congratulations when the winners get announced. And so without further ado, I am going to announce the winner of the Marks Rabbit and Cavy Expo of 2020 Best of Group 1 as my Blue Dutch.
Well, thank you, Michelle. And I can't tell you how excited Tucker is that the Dutch won best of that group. So Tucker is very excited here that the Blue Dutch won best of group number 1. All right, so that's group number 1. Now it is on to group number 2 open. Group number 2 open is going to include the Trianta, the English Angora, the Dwarf Hoto, American Fuzzy Lop, American Chinchilla, Satin, Blanc de Hoto, Lilac, Silver, Polish, Silver Fox, Creme d'Argent, and the Argente Brune. We are pleased to have evaluating this group of animals from Iowa, ARBA Judge number 569, Mike Avesing. Mike, take it away.
All right. This actually, I'm doing group 4.
We'll just go with it.
Do you want
So
me to
we're
go ahead
doing-
and do it? Group 4?
Yes, and Scott will come back on and announce all the breeds that were in it.
We wanted to reintroduce the group 2 breeds. Michelle, was that reintroduce the group 2 breeds?
Actually, we're gonna skip ahead since he's already on the screen and introduce the group 4 breeds.
Oh, okay. All right. Apologize for that little miss there. All right. Well, group 4, we have the giant Angora, the silver martin, the Belgian hare, the Champagne d'Argent, the Havana, the American Netherland dwarf, the mini satin or mini lop, the satin Angora, the Harlequin, and the American Chinchilla. And are we changing to Judge
We're
735?
gonna go with Mike has group 4 open, so we're gonna go with Mike on group 4.
Okay. All right, Mike, take it away with the group 4 breeds.
Okay. See how this goes here. I'm not sure what's happening here. We'll do it this way. Start with the standard chin. Take a look at a harlequin. American. Is that an Angora? The Netherland dwarf? A giant Angora? mini lop. The Havana. Silver Martin. Champagne. And the Belgian hare. One of the challenging things about living in the country is you get a lot of buffering on your internet, and unfortunately, we've got a lot of that today. I had the opportunity to look at these animals this afternoon. I didn't have that problem. In this group, my opinion, the three top animals are the giant Angora and the mini lop and the Netherland dwarf. Before I pick my winner, I would like to thank Marks for putting this on. As everybody else has commented, it's been a real challenge to do this. And again, appreciate the support from the exhibitors who's helped, selected me to pick a group. And so without a whole lot of further ado, our best of this group, group 4, is going to be the Netherland dwarf.
Scott, you're muted.
All right, how about that? Thank you, Mike, and congratulations to our Netherland Dwarf owner. We'll have the names coming up in just a little bit on that. And now, no further ado, we are on to group number 2. Group number 2 open is the Triantra, the English Angora, the Dwarf Hoto, the American Fuzzy Lop, American Chinchilla, the Satin, the Blanc de Hoto, the Lilac, the Silver, the Polish, the Silver Fox, the Creme de Argent, and the Argente Brune. And we are pleased to have evaluating this group of animals from Utah, ARBA judge number 735, Alan Orman. Alan?
Hello, everyone. Let's begin with the Trianta. We'll talk later. We'll get the rabbits going here first. I can get this computer to go. Looks like my screen is froze or something going on. All the crazy things. There we go.
Alan, can you try hitting refresh on the top of your browser?
I don't see it here anywhere. Stop sharing, mute. It's not on the top of my browser. That's a problem. Okay, here we go. Where would I hit refresh? It'd be on the right side, up by the X.
It depends on the browser. It's sometimes on the left side.
Okay, here it is.
Scott, it looks like we lost Alan. So I think maybe we should go to Ted and his group while we try to get Alan back online, which would be group 3. Sound good?
All right, sounds good, Michelle. All right, so with no further ado, Tucker, we're going to go on here and we're going to see if we can do group number 3. Group number 3 open, which includes the Jersey Woolly, the Cinnamon, the Palomino, the Californian, the Hawaiian, the Britannia Petite, the Giant Chinchilla, Florida White, the Beverin, Holland Lop, English Spot, and the Mini Satin. To evaluate these animals, I'm pleased to introduce the ARBA judge number 729, Ted DeLoya from Oregon. Ted, take it away.
Hello, everybody. I don't believe I have a Hawaiian in here, but I'll check to make sure. We got to look at these animals earlier today, like everybody said. So what I'm going to do is just let you take a look and see what we saw today. My first rabbit is going to be the giant chin. next rabbit is a palomino. My next rabbit is the Beverin. My next rabbit is a mini sat. My next rabbit is a Florida White. My next rabbit is the English spot. My next rabbit is a cinnamon.
Ted, could you, after you're done with the cinnamon, could you please refresh your browser because we need to put a different Beverin in the in your lineup here.
Just refresh it.
Yeah, once you refresh it, the correct Beverin will be in there.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We're all working really hard and learning as we go.
That's cool. My next rabbit is the Britannia Petite. My next rabbit is a Holland Lop.
Okay.
My next rabbit is a Himalayan. My next rabbit is a Californian. The next rabbit is the Jersey Woolly. Okay, I'm going to go back and refresh now. See if I can find the right Beverin.
You'll have to go and reselect your class again. Like up at the top.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's not letting me. Okay. Let's see if it loaded that in. Oops. Oh, there it is. Okay, I believe that's it. First of all, I'd like to thank the Marks Group for hosting this virtual convention. I can't imagine how hard it is on them right now, especially monetarily, all the money they have to put up front. So I'd like to thank the exhibitors for entering this show to help offset some of the costs that they're enduring, I'm sure. I think these virtual shows actually are a good learning tool. It helps the judges focus on some of the little things that we really kind of bypass at times, or we use our hands instead of our eyes. So I think in a way this keeps us a little more updated on some of the things we really need to look at, some of the finer points. As you can see, I had a great group of rabbits here. Congratulations to all the best of breed winners. Today, my group winner for group 3 is going to be my Himalayan. I will move it into its spot.
All right. Well, thank you, Ted, and congratulations to the Himalayan owner, not a Hawaiian. With that being said, I believe, Michelle, we're going to move on and try to bring Alan back.
We are going to try. He is ready, and we appreciate everybody sticking with us. We are all learning about how this technology works and getting all these systems to talk to each other, and it's been a lot of late nights and an experience. So I believe Alan is with us.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Alan.
Hi, how are you?
And we're going to give it another shot here for group number 2. This is group number 2 with Alan Ormond from Utah. Alan, take it away.
Thank you. We're going to start at the bottom and go to the top this time. We're going to start with the silver down here and move along. Let me put him up on the screen so he's bigger. Okay, here we go. Whoever did the videoing of this rabbit paid attention to the light. They did an excellent job of having the light come on this rabbit. Try to get through some of these and get him posed where we can see the real good silvering on him. There's a good shot of his back, hindquarters. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Our Argente Bruin. Okay, let's move on to our next one. Cream d'Argent. It's our cream deodorant. Next is our American Chin. Go back to see if we can see some of that good color. Next, we'll go to our satin. Next up is our English Angora. Next, we'll go to our silver fox. Here's our lilac. Here's our American fuzzy lop. Here's our Polish. The dwarf photo. There's our Blanc de Hoto. And last but not least, our Trianta. There's a couple things I'd like to say before I announce the winner of this group. Congratulations to the Mark group for putting together such a good show. They had a few hitches in their giddy up, but the program works well, and I'll be looking forward to using it in the future in some places. This is a great learning tool for us, as Ted Deloya said. The little things sometimes we pass by as we're judging rabbits. We get in those deep classes and we don't pay attention until we get to the top 5. A beautiful group of rabbits here. Somebody put a lot of effort in to filming these, putting good rabbits together. Today, your group winner, group 2, is going to be, let me see if I can find her up here. I passed her up. The English Angora. Try to slip her up where she belongs.
All right. Well, congratulations to our English Angora winner. And thank you again, Alan, for working through that very tough group of rabbits. So without further ado, everyone, I believe it is time to move on to the moment we have absolutely all been waiting for.
But maybe a little bit more suspense because they have to get the English Angora moved into the portal for Best in Show.
Okay, well, how about if I do this other part, right?
I think that would be lovely because
all right. So we wanted to thank all of you who have joined us here this evening and stuck with us for 3 hours, 0 minutes and 14 seconds so far, for those of you who have been paying attention. But I would like to say that the event is far from over. There are still opportunities to help out some of our national clubs by participating in our benefit auction. You can also stay online here or get back online and cheer on the youth at their Tuesday evening banquet and check out the arts and crafts contest that's going to be posted tomorrow. So arts and crafts contest and the National Club's benefit auctions, Tuesday's youth banquet, all coming up. So as we said, this event is far from over. And
yeah.
Tucker also wants to remind everybody that the event is far from over, so stay tuned. Are we there yet, Joe?
If they could pick a best in show assistant, I think that Tucker would definitely win that prize for sure.
Yeah, he's been a very patient helper here today, working through all of these breeds. So are we there?
I think that we are there. I believe that our best in show judge is getting ready to share their screen. So I'm going to turn it over to you for another wonderful Scott Schmidl introduction, and we will go from there.
Okay. It is now time for 20. Oh, that's you, not me. There we go. 2020 Best of Show Open competition. And judging our 4 finalists from our 4 groups will be our California ARBA judge number 854, Alan Messick. Alan, we are all waiting on the edge of our seats.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you everyone for this honor, of course. I'll talk a little bit in a second. We'll go through the rapids first, but I do want to say a couple of things. In the most unconventional year and unconventional convention of sorts, or expo, whatever you'd like to call it, I'm going to go a little bit away from maybe tradition and not necessarily talk about each rabbit in terms of how they compare, because we don't want to compare against what our previous judges have done. But I am going to maybe talk a little bit about each breed and what's important to that breed as I get the pleasure to look at these 4. So without further ado, let's begin. The first rabbit that we're going to look at is this Dutch. And I'm going to open the screen up even wider. This is a blue variety. Compact body type is important to the breed. Body type and markings are the paramount features of the breed. And let's go through the video pretty quickly. So I'll be looking at type, top line especially when it comes to depth. Should be deep, full, and then from the rear view should be full to the table. Of course, markings are the hallmark of this breed. So taking a look at every single one of the markings is important. And in this video, virtual judging actually probably does a good job at checking out markings. So that's the saddle, looking at the blaze, cheek simultaneously. Another shot at the cheeks. They should be round. Underneath, that's the undercut. That's basically the continuation of the saddle. Stop should be a third. Those are the stops of my hock, a third of the length of the hock. And as everyone in these videos has done, checking teeth and sex. So it is a doe. And she's blue. The breed comes in black, blue, chocolate, chinchilla, steel, and gray, and tort. The one self variety they do not recognize is lilac, as of yet anyway. Okay, good profile to finish out. We'll go to the next video. Breed that's near and dear to my heart, that's a Netherland Dwarf. That's the breed that I raise. So short and compact, a significant part of their body type. Of course, they are tied with Britannia Petite as the smallest recognized breed in the ARBA. This color is black otter. They come in 4 different variations of otter: black, blue, chocolate, and lilac. This happens to be, of course, black, and it's a buck. They should have a round, rather large head, short ears under 2.5 inches, a rollback coat. Significant points on type, but also on head and ears. Ears are short and open and wide and round. Actually, a lot of ways to assess ears. And even color is important. I get a front end shot because this breed is a breed that has a significant number of points and weight on the front end. So a deep, wide chest, short, stumpy front legs, which would signify good bone. And then, of course, a wide, broad. And then also from the front, we could assess the carriage of ear and the spacing between each. Okay, that's the last profile shot of the dwarf. We'll move on to our group 3, it looks like. Looks like an English Angora. Yes, it is. A breed that has a lot of history when it comes to best in shows. They certainly are a show rabbit when they are when they are on. They are an incredible amount of work. Never raised them. I groomed one French Angora for a period of time, and it was enough. But I certainly appreciate wool and how much it takes to get to this point. And this is a ruby-eyed white. They are shown in two groups, colored and white. This, of course, is a white. They have compact type, though they look really big. They're actually the smallest of the 4 Angora breeds recognized by the ARBA. All of the size is somewhat of a farce. It's all wool. Checking the sex, it's a doe. So far competing in these 3 groups, we have 2 does and a buck, the buck being the dwarf, the Dutch and the English Angora being does. Okay, so uniform coat is important. Blowing in the coat. If I was there judging in person, I would blow in the coat just like demonstrated here to see if the wool is fresh to the skin. Here assessing crimp, that's the kind of the jaggedness of each wool fiber down the hair shaft. Crimp helps to separate the fibers as well as give it bounce and volume. And then also looking here to see like a guard hair drape, fine guard hairs over the undercoat to separate the wool and keep it from matting as easily. And then of course type is important. They should be compact and round. There's actually a little Florida white under all that fluff. And you can see the tasseling on the ears. 2 of the 4 Angora breeds call for tasseling or fringes on the ears and face. That's the giant Angora and the English Angora. I call them sister breeds. They're different, of course, in size and what they recognize in color and a little bit in texture. But in terms of where the wool is, the coverage, they're very, very similar. French and satin then being the other 2 sisters. Okay, density is important. Using hands, I use a couple methods to check density. Using my hands like a claw almost to feel how many fibers are coming out of basically one given area. That is density. And the greater the density, the better. Good view from over the top, checking width of body and taper down the sidelines. One of the hardest areas on an English Angora to achieve uniformity is down below, close to the table, because there's friction and rubbing of the animal as they're on wire or in their cage. I'm sure they have big cages, but there's still a bit of break, as they call it, amongst the wool fibers as they brush up against the cage. The uniformity, if you see a coat that's equally as long down below the table or next to the table as it is over top on the rump and back, that's a significant goal. This video is a little longer than the other ones, but there's a lot to show off in this breed and a lot to assess. They are one of the more time-consuming breeds to judge, actually in person as well. And it's really nice to look at an English Angora that's white, and I get to wear black today and not be covered in wool. Okay, so those are the 4 group winners. I'm gonna go through and look at not necessarily each of them again, but some more fine tuning. Again, this is the Dutch group winner. It's a blue doe. More points on markings than body, but body is important. A deep, compact Dutch does very well when put together with a great set of markings. Everything about the Dutch marking should be round. And that's one thing that we are trained as judges. If we have some Dutch mentors that teach us, they always say round, round, round. Round cheeks, a round saddle, undercut. The stops are round, essentially, over the entire hock. Okay, that's a good view. And I have group 4 here, that's the Himalayan. Himalayans also come in 4 colors. They are black, blue, chocolate, and lilac. Body and markings are weighted very similarly. So body type and markings and color are paramounts of the breed. They should be long in type, slender, fine boned, level top lined. And then when you run your hands down their sidelines, they should be equal in width, front to back. So they're really an opposite breed compared to many others. Looks like a buck. Markings underneath, boots and socks are sometimes referred to. They should be dark in color, rich and high, and also very clean in color. The body or the usable portion of the pelt should be a healthy white with no smut. Smut's a DQ or disqualification. Coat is flyback. They are a fur breed by history. And this is a chocolate. Appreciate how the exhibitor has blurred out his or her face. This is an anonymous virtual show, and that's certainly appreciated. Okay, good view of the Himalayan. So our group winners include a blue Dutch, a black otter Netherland dwarf, a white English Angora, and a chocolate Himalayan. And again, I'm going to kind of go through these quickly just to take another view. Wool is very, very important to this breed, more than 50 points allotted to wool in the English Angora. Wool is, of course, important in all 4 Angora breeds, but there is nothing like an English Angora on the planet. And wool certainly sets them apart from all the others and gives them what we call breed character. You can see the movement of the coat. If the coat is not in good shape, it's not good conditioned, it will actually be very stiff when you go to move the coat. So that movement of the coat signifies health and condition, freshness, oftentimes referred to as. Okay. Let's take another quick look at the Himalayan. Again, long, long, long. They really are opposite in terms of their terminology to describe Himalayan compared to most breeds of rabbits. We oftentimes use the word long in breeds like Netherland dwarfs, for example, to signify a fault, when in Himalayan, it's actually really important. Okay. So ears, nose, feet and legs, and tail, those are the markings of the Himalayan breed. And again, this is the chocolate. And I'll do one quick look here at the group winner represented by the Netherland dwarf. It was a black otter buck. Again, short, compact, upright. They have a high headset, unlike most breeds of rabbits. Like their sister breed, when I'm teaching or training or thinking about this breed, are Holland Lops. You could also add Jersey Woolies in there. They're short and compact, upright, high headset, small breeds. They're like massive rabbits, but in a very small package. Okay, good profile shot. Okay, I think I have actually made up my mind. So before I give the big announcement, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you very much to the Marks team. That includes, of course, Brian and Ruth Ann Bell and their amazing family, and everyone on that Marks team. They are one of the powerhouse figures in our convention, not only convention community, but our ARBA and rabbit and cavy industry. They work tirelessly throughout the year to put on shows like the Pennsylvania State Convention, which has been going as one of the most well-attended shows of our time. For example, they put on the very wonderful last convention in Harrisburg, and it's a real shame that this year they were faced with unprecedented world crisis, pandemic, COVID. We've all heard it. We've all said it. We keep saying the same thing over again. So I'm not going to stress too much about it, but I want to thank this team because this bad year could have happened to anyone. Last year, we put on the convention in Reno, a club that I'm involved in, California Rabbit and Cavy Shows. Pandemic could have happened last year. It could happen next year. But unfortunately, it fell on these guys' shoulders. And it's unfortunate for people that have worked so hard for not just this year, but they have been working years to put this convention together, putting a convention together, finding a host, a venue, finding a committee, finding the funds to put these things on is by no means an easy task. And hats off to anyone that even tries to take it on. And it is my sincere hope that this virtual show kept some spirits alive amongst the Marks team. I really, really want to thank Michelle Forey. She has steered this thing from start to finish. And it has been a pleasure working with her. If you get a chance to see her or send her a Facebook message or comment, thank Michelle. She is a very hard, very dedicated ARB member and a longtime one, and now a mom, apparently. She's got an 8-year-old that's coming up in the hobby and fast approaching, maybe looking at a judge license one day. So this is a hobby, an industry, a family where age does not matter. And it's certainly been a very near and dear hobby to my heart. And I'm very fortunate that I found rabbits, or that rabbits found me over 20 years ago. With that said, I commiserate with breeders and anyone who works hard throughout the year to put on a show in 2020. But most of all, I really feel deeply about the youth that maybe were just getting into rabbits and cavies, or were going to be approached by this hobby, and they have this year to go against. So how many young people or adults did we lose because they never got the chance to be involved in a show industry? And virtually overnight, they don't have those opportunities. So I commiserate with them, and I really hope that we haven't lost too many. And if I could ask ARB members to do one thing, it would be to reach out to someone that you know that's new and take them under your wing. And even if you help them sort through a litter virtually through your phone or through FaceTime or on Facebook, keeping them inspired so that they come back, I think is something that each and every one of us can do to not only boost their spirits and keep them involved, but it's a reciprocal thing. Helping others is something that rabbit and cavy people are all about. And you might be amazed at how inspiring it might be to each and every one of us if we help someone else during this really crummy otherwise time. One last note, virtual judging is a brand new thing, and it comes with its own set of standards. Mostly there really are no standards, and we have no one in the past to set precedent on how to do it. So I would really like to thank every judge that took part in this show and accepted the challenge and were brave enough to go out there on a limb and judge these things. And today I didn't watch from where I am, but I'm sure that there were different methods that judges used to go about their day and business. And certainly I did in the very end to talk through some of the breeds. So be gentle on all of us as we all work really hard with the Marks team and our entire industry to keep spirits high. And again, hats off to those judges who braved the elements. And a very big thank you to Virtual Stock Shows for doing the backside, the video judging of this. They have been fabulous to work with. And I couldn't ask for a better team to support rabbits. Rabbits are a brand new thing for Virtual Stock Shows and cavies as well. So they did a great job learning our language really fast and working side by side with Michelle and the Marks team. So it's been a great journey. With that said, our Best in Show and Open at the 2020 Marks Virtual Rabbit and Cavy Expo in the Open Rabbit division is a lovely English Angora. Congratulations. And again, thank you for this honor. It's always a very big one to be in this position. So thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Well, thank you, Alan, for that wonderful job and the inspiring words that you were able to share with everyone here today. Congratulations to Melanie and Yvonne Lyons from Maine, New York on their English Angora Group number 2 winner and our Best in Show for the 2020 Marks Rabbit Expo. Again, that's Melanie and Yvonne Lyons from Maine, New York. Just to kind of run down our other group winners, group number 1 winner was the Dutch, and that was owned by Valerie Warzella from Milladore, Wisconsin. Congratulations, Valerie, on getting to the finals. Also, group number 4 was the Netherland Dwarf, owned by Cole Ruprecht from Shoreview, Minnesota. Congratulations, Cole. And group number 3 was the Himalayan with owner was Jennifer Roberts from Dallas, Oregon. So those were your 4 winners, your 4 group winners. And as again, the Best in Show going to the English Angora belonging to Melanie and Yvonne Lyons of Maine, New York. So congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you so much to all the people that participated with us here today. And on behalf of the Mid-Atlantic Rabbit and KB shows, thank you for helping make 2020 a success. We hope to see all of you in person next year in Kentucky. And with that said, thank you for the 3 hours and 21 minutes that you spent with us here this evening. Michelle, I'm going to turn it back over to you to say goodnight.
Yep. Well, again, like you said, thank you so much. Congrats to the winners. I know a lot of people are very anxiously awaiting full results, and we are working as quickly as we can to make that happen for all of you. So we will see you next time. Our Best in Show helper there. And thank you, everybody, for your support.
Bye, everyone.